I have all my makeup products here and my makeup bag, and I love that it's literally like empty except for my Subtl stack, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 products in here. This little thing would be overflowing if I did not have my makeup stacked up. So shout out to Subtl for that. Okay, so now that my base is blended and everything, I'm gonna go in with my cream bronzer. This is the concealer in shade 21N. So a little hack for you if you're looking for a cream bronzer, if you prefer this over a powder, or if you're like me and you like to layer cream products with a powder product on top, just get you a concealer that is like 2, maybe 3 shades darker, depending on how bronzed up you want to be, and use that as your cream bronzer or contour. So brush is a little bit stiffer. Pat this in like along, like right underneath my cheekbone, but just a little bit higher is going to help lift the face up a little bit. I love the way these blend in. They just look so good. I don't know if you guys know this, but I was reminded of this the other day. The owner, Rachel, she founded this brand based off of like her need for having like a makeup routine that was like kind of easy and on the go when she was doing like, you know, adult sleepovers, you know? And she said like for a minute she contemplated calling it On the Go. Which I still vote for that name. I'm sorry. I just need something with that name on it. I think that's hilarious. We have our bronzer on, and you see how like that just added some warmth back to my face. If you want it more of a contour, just go for 2 to 3 shades down, but find something that has like a cool tone to it that is not as warm. Let's go for cream blush. I always like to do my cream blush and cream products in general all over before I go in with powder products. The blush that I am using, this is Bordeaux on the Go. Literally been my favorite since I started using it. Do you guys see how dirty mine is? I've scratched the surface and everything, and it usually takes me a minute to hit pan on these, but she has been getting used. She is my favorite shade by far. It looks good on the lips, it looks good on the eyes. Sometimes like you can layer it underneath stuff or put it on top to give you like a sheen. It looks so good, and I honestly feel like if you are brown or darker skin tone, you definitely want to go for something that's like a deep burgundy or closer to a red. Not just because it's Valentine's Day, but I feel like those blushes look a little bit more, like they give you more of the pop that you want. Obviously fitting for the holiday. I just put a little bit on the nose just to make you look a little sunburned, like you've been somewhere, you've been on someone's beach on a vacation. Now, I'm assuming if you're doing this makeup routine for Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day, maybe you're heading out with the girls, whatever you're doing, you're gonna want this to last, okay? So find a setting spray that you can just spray on, and you wanna do this 2 times during your makeup routine. One while your makeup is still wet. Just take whatever setting spray you're using, and I'm just gonna let that dry. This mirror is coming in handy today, I'm not gonna lie. And now you can proceed with the rest of your powder products because it's kind of like locking all of the cream and the liquids, your base, in place. And then you go on top of it with your powders to really like set and lock everything in further so it lasts all night long. Another makeup tip for you guys, before you apply that powder, just make sure you go underneath your eyes where you apply concealer, if you apply concealer there, and you just want to blend out any creases so that you're not setting a crease, because once that powder hits it, it's going to be set. You just want to blend it out and keep looking up, and then once you have your powder in place, you can, you know, look normal. You don't have to look up the entire time, just until you set it. So again, just look up the entire time while you're pressing out those creases under your eyes. Keep looking up and then press it in. You can do this with a puff, which is my personal favorite. Subtl has these cute little puffs that come in the bottom of some of their stacks, and I really love to use those because it has a really nice texture. As long as you're using a powder, your makeup is going to last a lot longer than if you don't. I go everywhere where we would naturally accumulate shine. For me, that is like all in my T-zone. Okay, so now that we have done that, we're going to go in with our bronzer, Cocoa. Look at how dirty my Cocoa is. Also, like side note, you can fully take these apart and clean them. I just kind of wear it as a badge of honor just to show how much I use her. Just a bit of Cocoa on the cheeks and on our forehead. Wherever you apply that cream bronzer, you're just gonna go back and go over it. And then whatever's left on my brush, I'm just gonna go kind of like along my nose. So for blush, I think I already know what shade this is, but I'm just looking just to be sure. Of course it is. It's Pink in a Pinch. This is my favorite blush shade. This is the blush shade that got me into pinks. And I would say for brown girls, like the perfect duo matchup for me is always Bordeaux on the go and then Pink in a Pinch layered on top. But Pink in a Pinch by itself does give you like a nice subtle like hint of something. It's one of my everyday shades that I know I can just reach for running out, or you know, I'm late for work or something. I know I can just dab this on my cheeks and it's gonna give me a little pigment that I need to like make me look more awake. Don't get it twisted, she definitely carries a punch, so I like to, you know, just be very gentle and just dab her very lightly. I don't dig into her too much. And I just layer her on top. This is also a nice way where you can kind of like create your own combinations or blush shades, if you will. Now, moving on to eyes, I'm gonna go back in with the bronzer and Cocoa. I typically don't wear a lot of eyeshadow, but if I know I'm going out with the girls or I'm going on a date or something, I do want to play up my eyes a little bit. It's actually one of my favorite features. So I always like to add a little something something. But typically my base for my eye routine is usually always the Cocoa bronzer. I'm just taking a fluffy brush and I just blend this into my crease. And if you are not a big makeup girl or you're just not very good at eye makeup, this is the hack that you want to steal, because your bronzer shade is just going to look the most natural. You have that in there. This is the Flight eyeshadow duo, so they have a matte shade and a shimmery shade in here, but I just love like the subtle sheen and like sparkle and glimmer that you get from the shimmer shades. And I will say that they are true shimmers. They're not like glittery or sparkly and you don't look up and you have like a whole bunch of glitter on your face. And I just go in and press this on my lid. I'm just gonna go back with that brush that I used, my crease, and just blend around the edges just to make sure, you know, no harsh lines. But I just love you can just use a little bit. You don't have to use a bunch. Pulling a little red, which is, you know, again, very fitting for Valentine's Day. I love this eyeshadow. We're gonna go in with some cream highlight. Rose. She's a very universal shade. My brown girls, do not be afraid. She doesn't look frosty on us. I feel like she is like one of the best like neutral highlights. Like I feel like this will look good on any skin tone. I just dab it onto the high points of my cheeks. You can do a little bit on your brow bone. And then I like to take a little bit on the tip of my nose as well. Now I'm gonna go back with my brow gel. And the reason why I wait is because I feel like if you put your brow gel on and while it's still wet, you start applying powder, the powders kind of stick to your brow gel and you see it looks like your brows have dandruff almost. We're not going for that look for Valentine's Day. I'm gonna lift up my brows and then I'm gonna go back and push them down. I'll lift up, push them down. There's a while there that we were all pushing our brow hairs up. Nobody was pushing them back down, and I'm not gonna lie, we all looked a bit scary. I'm gonna take my setting spray again. Now that we've done like most of our makeup, I'm gonna tell you right now, you should have done this before you put your mascara on, but you know, just do better than me, okay? And if you're using a puff, you wanna go back and press it in. If you're using a brush, just go back with your powder brush. And I'm just gonna press into the shine control powder a little bit. And tip, if you're ever using a puff, before you just take that powder straight to your face, you wanna just like press it out on the back of your hand a little bit just to make sure it's evenly distributed all over the puff. And so I'm just gonna go back where I highlighted with my concealer. So underneath my eyes, under my nose. Now I'm going to do my lips. So our lips are lined. And I actually have not been using like a lip product from Subtl on my lips lately. I've been using the highlight, but I just like to take a little bit of the rosé and it kind of gives you like a little bit of a frosty lip. I already had a little bit of lip balm down. And like I said, this is like a true shimmer. It doesn't feel gritty on your lips or anything. It doesn't look chunky. You could even use this as a lip topper. Like if you put on like one of the lip and cheek shades and you want to put this on top. I kind of go for like a more nude look, if you will. And then I'll put a little bit of gloss on top of it. And it adds just like a really pretty sheen. I get everyone is always into like the red lip. I like to go for something that's a little bit more wearable in my opinion. That like I can wear throughout the night, that I can easily touch up. Red lips to me are a little bit high maintenance. So that is our finished look for today using my Subtl stack. Like I said, I have not changed the products in the Subtl stack in a minute. So if you see me back here on the Subtl channel and I'm using these same products again, it's because I actually really love them and they stay in my makeup bag. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope it gave you some ideas and some tips for Valentine's Day, especially for making your makeup last all night long. And if you need help with anything else, you can check out the Subtl YouTube channel. They have so many videos here, perfect for beginners or if you just want to learn some new tips. My name is Niara Alexis. You can find me on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok by that handle. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.